Well, hello there, and welcome to Battle of the Bands 2024.
I am Alex.
And I am Shan.
And we are joined by all of our judges for this year. Okay, now.
My name's Bex. I'm a DJ at Fab Cafe. I've been there for about 3 years now. I make the odd occasional appearance here at Satan's Hollow. In fact, I will be playing the Battle of the Bands final party, which I'm very much looking forward to. I also do a pop scene radio show for Fab Radio International. I've been, and I still am, a band manager. I work for Velvet Records, and I've been in the music industry for around about 25 years.
I'm Vicky. I used to work at Satan's. I'm also a rep for Rancid Offal Promotions, representing the slam scene and brutal death scene and the grind scene. I've also worked with Hammerhead events for similar community, and I'm also a writer for Starburst magazine, so I'm representing them as well.
Hi, my name's Eddie. I manage one of the biggest rock bars in Manchester, the Salisbury. I also manage a band called The Kingdom Below, and I've been in the metal scene for about 7 years now.
Hi, Mike. I am one of the DJs here at Satan's Hollow and occasionally DJ over at Fab Cafe as well. I used to write for heavy metal magazines. I've been a heavy metal radio show presenter, and I just love judging people.
I'm Justin. I've been involved in the music industry now for almost 25 years in different ways. I'm the editor at large for Uber Rock, it's a alternative music website. I also write for Distorted Sound as a features and interviewer. I'm very, very lucky to have done it this long, and I can't wait to get into this year's bands.
The alternative metal scene, the alternative music scene, whatever you want to call it. How long have you been into it? And I know you're old, so it'll take some time. And how did that start for you?
Okay, so for me, it was listening to my dad's vinyl, or like Black Sabbath, Jimi Hendrix, a lot of early prog stuff. Found my own way into liking bands with like Red Hot Chili Peppers, early 90s, Nirvana, Rage Against the Machine, and then kind of went out every way from there, really. Never forget how lucky I am to be doing it still.
It started for me when I was in prison. I was forced to listen to Black Sabbath B-sides by a deranged one-armed man. And yeah, I've just loved it ever since.
Mine's a little bit different. I grew up, whenever I was growing up, my dad showed me loads of grunge music in the 90s, and that's what got me into rock music, was listening to grunge and stuff like that.
So I would like to say I was the only little metalhead alt kid in my school. Tiny school, but I was still the only alt one. Being alt in Cyprus, it was weird, very small metal scene. I was always different, even though I made friends with people who like metal. So I'd say I was probably 13 when it all started. There's some quintessential bands that have very much formed me. Moved to Manchester, found my little tribe, found Satan's, and I've just stuck myself right into the local metal scene, and my taste has only grown and my love for the scene has only grown. So there's more to come, really.
Well, Michael, I think it's time to tell you that I was that deranged one-armed man. But besides that, I think I've been into all sorts of different kind of music ever since I was in school, really. I was a bit more into indie and rock and that kind of stuff. Went round to funk and soul, and I've kind of come back round again since being at Fab Cafe. Got back into more like you were saying before, Foo Fighters, Green Day, that kind of thing. And I have to admit, I'm quite a big Electric Cowboy fan. Motionless in White, I like Ice Nine Kills, and that's my kind of sort of foray into metal, I guess, and learning a lot of stuff from DJing Shannon's wedding. So yeah, that introduced me to a lot of new music. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
I don't think I've actually quite seen so many people in my husband's family and a little bit of my family be so confused at just the amount of metal that was at my wedding. Especially after 9 o'clock, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Moshes everywhere.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, I still got brilliant pictures of me headbanging. Anybody obviously you've mentioned some bands and stuff like that already, but any proper imprinting bands that made an impact to people?
So I guess for me, Black Sabbath would be the obvious one. One of the first vinyls I listened to was Volume 4. Other bands like Faith No More, Hawkwind, Nine Inch Nails, Sisters of Mercy. I'd listen to across the range of alternative stuff, really. I don't see the point of listening to just one thing. Like, there's so much good music out there. Look around and find what you like.
If I had
A banana in your pocket? What's going on here? The
it's a banana, you're safe. If I had to pick any band that I think probably was central to my sort of forming my love of metal, it would probably be Anal.
My music taste really depends on my mood. Like, you know, like 90s grunge is probably what I normally listen to, but it depends on what I'm feeling like. You know, it can range from, like, if I'm in a really happy mood, it'll be pop rock, 90s grunge just day to day, and then if I'm in a bad mood, like, yeah, deathcore, I'm up for that.
Some formative bands for me, I guess, would definitely be Slipknot, specifically Iowa and the self-titled albums. They were very, very formative for me. Murder Dolls as well. I'm a huge Murder Dolls fan. They've always been a huge part of me. My music taste has changed a lot since moving to the UK. I'm massively into my grindcore now, like Guttural Slug, Coprocephalic Mutation, who are more slam, should I say. But I'm also a huge Sleep Token fan. That's undisputed. Worship. But I'm also the biggest new metal fan ever, like Korn, Limp Bizkit. They are the boys. But yeah, deathcore, metalcore, I love everything pretty much. So yeah.
For me, I kind of just dipped in and out, really. So when I was starting in my early teens, my brother was really into Iron Maiden, and he used to draw Eddies all over his wall. He was an incredible artist, and that kind of got me into those in those days. Sort of throughout school, really, it was back more into sort of the indie rock kind of stuff. And then from leaving school, I was really getting into Green Day, and then into Foo Fighters. And then, like I said, really anything now, I tend to kind of go from recommendations. So I guess Electric Cowboy is a big one for me. A friend of mine introduced me to Electric Cowboy. I've been to see him live. I love the fact that when I went to see them live, that I knew every single track that they played. Another member of staff turned up, Declan. He was there and he came and hung out with us. That was pretty cool. And then anything that my daughter tends to introduce me to. So again, Motionless in White. We're going to go and see them next year. Again, with Ice Nine Kills. They're very unique. So I think I like metal bands with a unique style. It's like with Electric Cowboy, it's that kind of dance element, that kind of trancey kind of thing that they've got going on. Ice Nine Kills, they write about horror movies and that kind of stuff, and horror movies is something I was big into when I was in my teenage years, so I think that's kind of always stuck with me.
How is it being, like, you know, a radio host? I'm not gonna lie, like, it's pretty good because, you know, you've got to have that chemistry out there. So how, like, what is exactly you mainly play?
Right, so I do all sorts of stuff, to be fair. I like to do themed kind of stuff, so sometimes there'll be several songs on there. You've got to make a connection between the two, all the songs, see if you can make a connection, and it'll come up with potentially you can guess the last song, which was what one of the last shows was. So there was all different songs. You had to write down the themes of the songs and see if you could predict the last song, and a few people managed to do that. It was an Ian Jury track. Oh, I do. It's so much fun. So much fun. And then I'll do like theme shows, so it might be a year, or it might be bands that are influenced by other bands, but I'll do a lot of social media, so I'll ask people intros, what's a great intro for a track, and get them to, like, maybe, you know, post up what they think has a really great intro, and then I'll build a show around that. But what I'm going to do this year is when we have the Battles of the Bands on, so last year we did the Heat Winners, and Heat Winners would send me a song, and then sometime during the show or towards the end of the show I would play that track. So I'm going to do the same thing again. So no matter what theme it is, at some point I will place the Heat Winners track, if they want to send me a track, in the show, and then hopefully you'll be able to hear your track on the radio as well.
Sick. So, Eddie, I heard that you guys at Salisbury have got something, you're working on a little something for people going to Battle of the Bands. Can you tell me a little about that, please?
So we do a really good deal at the Salisbury. If you show your ticket, your wristband, your guest list, a text, an email, anything that you're going to Satan's Battle of the Bands, you get 10% off your drinks and 25% off your food. Also, I think I'm going to be a really good judge here, because has anyone ever heard of a band called Fontaines DC? Yes. I taught Conor Curley how to play a guitar. So they're playing in November in Manchester. If anyone wants guests listed, drop us a message.
I want guest listed. So I'm not even gonna drop you a text. I want in. Sick. So if you come into Battle of the Bands, get yourselves a beer and a scran first, and head on down. And then don't steal my guest list for this Fontaine's DC thing.
So you've got a lot of things coming up within the community yourself. Do you want to tell us more about it?
Yes, so obviously I said I'm a rep for Rancid Offal Promotions, and last year we had our first festival, Offal Fest, at Rebellion. It's a great little day, just representing the slam community, the brutal death community, the grind community, just a really, really fun, silly day. And this year we've got our second festival at the end of July, so if you're free and you like all things slam and brutal death, come on down, enjoy it. Our headliner this year is To Violently Vomit, who are the former members of Discord USA, so it's going to be a very exciting, historical moment, so come on down.
Is there anything specific that you're looking for from the bands?
Yeah, so I wasn't actually sure if I'll be able to judge this year because I actually managed one of the bands that they start in Heat D. So as soon as I was asked, I did bring that up straight away because clash of interests, obviously. So I think the agreement was that any time that they're playing, I obviously can't be involved because that would be quite ridiculous, to be honest.
I think that's really fair to like not be so biased as well. Like most people wouldn't really care and be quite in for it, but no, you taking a step back on those days is perfect, and you get to enjoy them as well. Like more, just get stuck in, have a few drinks.
Well, I'm still going to be here. I'm just going to be on the merch instead.
Beautiful.
So I still get to get here, so that's not too bad.
Just get a few bevs in you, it'll be good.
But yeah, I remember the standard of the bands last year was really, really high across all the heats as well. I was surprised, like there were some bands that I'd heard names of but hadn't seen, and I was impressed just how good they were when they were on the stage here. So I think seeing more of that, seeing bands, just bring it. Yeah, that's it. It's just like there's so much passion, so much creativity that we saw last year. I'm just looking forward to like there's even more gigs for it this year. Yeah. That's what I can't wait for.
Beautiful. Double the gigs and double the band. It's going to be insane this year. Yes, Scary Man. Anything specific you're looking for from the bands this year?
For me, I think it's just all down. It's going to be all down to performance, as Justin said. Like the standard of the performances last year were top notch. Like everyone smashed it out of the park, and so there needs to be something that's just got that little extra wow factor that sort of just puts you over the top. I think that was probably one of the things with Sir Curse last year, was the fact that they just made that extra little bit of effort just to make their show that little bit more special, and ultimately that's what got them the grand prize. I'm also looking for brown paper envelopes with money in for anyone who wants to get a little bit further on in the competition. Just throwing that out there.
I've been sent quite a few of the bands, and I've listened to them all, and there's quite a few standout bands that I think are going to do really, really well, but I haven't seen them live yet, so I need to see what the stage performance is like to actually rate them rather than just hearing audio. Audio can be edited, so seeing them live it's going to be quite interesting. And as Manchester as a city, like the amount of really good bands that are in Manchester, it's insane. Like there's so much quality, so it's going to be really, really good.
I want you to be the most unique thing I've ever seen, and I have seen some unique bands. I will put that out there. I want to go home with remembering who you are, remembering your name, remembering a song. I want to have a good time. If it's not a party, I'm not having a good time. So bring the party. I don't care what genre you are, whether you're new metal, thrash, death metal, I want a party. So I'm looking for uniqueness, partiness, and memorability, I'd say.
I think having been a band manager before, I like to see a well-rehearsed band, dynamics, you know what I mean? So like, I like bands that buzz off each other. You know, when you see the guitarist buzzing off the drummer, and they're really hard and really dynamic, and they're proper on it, proper making eye contact and stuff. Getting the crowd going is a must. Especially like if you've got a crowd here and they don't know your music and your songs specifically, being able to get the energy going and get them going, I think is really, really important. And just like Vicky said, uniqueness, something different that makes you stand out. And just like Mike said, like Circus were last year, and that's why they won. They had a little element of something different, and I think rather than copying other bands, because you do see a lot of bands that are like, I really like these guys, I'm going to be just like them. So yeah, just do your own thing.
Originality is key. Is there one specific band that you've heard of before, or maybe you're just excited to see? Maybe it's just a name that's caught your eye. Is there one band that you can sort of point the viewers to look out for and keep an eye on?
Well, seen as a manager, one of them, then I'd say Ingenue, to be quite honest. Yeah.
Yeah, fair play.
Easy enough, I guess. You know.
For me, it's actually one of last year's entrants who are coming back this time around, a band called Honey Talks. I thought they absolutely smashed it last year, and I feel that they were very unlucky not to get through to the final. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing them again.
There's no specific band that I really want to say. Like, it's up to you to impress me, and then you're going to get my vote. Ingenue. No,
like, impress me.
I'm not biased, so just impress me and get my vote.
I am unbelievably excited to see Pyrewitch. Big up UK death metal. I've listened to them since they started. They're a great band. I'm really excited to see what the crowd thinks of them, and they're really representing the underground scene in Manchester. Big up the UK death metal scene is all I can say.
Yeah, I guess I'm quite looking forward to having my eyes open really and coming in with a bit of a clean slate, but I have to say Pyrewitch have been recommended to me as well by one of my friends on the inside with his special knowledge. Big up to Luke if you're watching. And he's one of the people who's out there. He's in a band of his own. He's only 15. He's an amazing bass player, and he's on the scene and he's seeing these bands and he knows that they're very good. So yeah, looking forward to seeing them too.
Right, well, I guess that's all the questions we've got for the judges today. Yeah, we'll see you on June the 1st to the very first Battle of the Bands event. Make sure you get down to see all these beautiful faces, and we will see you all then.
Do not be late.
Stop touching me, you creepy motherfucker.